Hello, my name is Jeremy Goh, and I'll be bringing you guys on a tour of my dashboard. This is my main page, and as in top left you can see I have 5 tabs including the main page. I will explain how my dashboard answers the business questions in the assignment, and I assume that only people in the US will use my dashboard as it is about the US. Firstly, we'll start with pressing the big start button, which brings us to the first page, which is reasons. This part of my dashboard answers the question, what are the likely reasons for teenage stress? The first 2 charts at the top show the direct relationship between 2 reasons for stress that I assume would lead to suicide. It can be seen that the higher the median income of a household, the more likely suicides would occur. Furthermore, it can also be seen that the more child abuse occurs, the more likely suicides would also occur. These claims are further proven by the charts below that show that the state with the highest median income has the most suicides, while the state with the highest number of child abuse victims has the most suicides. The user then can see that household income and presence of child abuse can affect teenagers and make them feel stressed. Moving on to the second question, which is what are the consequences of teenagers being stressed? You can move to the next page called consequences by pressing the button on the bottom left side of the screen. This brings us to the page called consequences, which shows the stress effect on both genders and as a total in 2014. Number of suicides from 2011 to 2015 and highest suicide causes from 2011 to 2015. Again, this page only works on the assumption that a consequence of stress is suicide. The user can see the effects of stress and the tendency for certain genders to be affected by them to varying degrees. The user can filter the stress effects and number of suicides by gender, while the number of suicides and the highest suicide causes can be filtered by year and race. In this example, we have filtered the data such that it shows the male stress consequences in 2014, the number of male suicides in 2011, and the sorted suicide causes for black people. We will now move on to the third question on how a teenager can get help. The teenager can navigate to this screen by clicking the Get Help/Prevention button in the bottom left side of the screen. This brings you to the page of the same name, which shows a list of tips categorized by the list box on the left, as well as a chart of the popularity of activities teenagers do to relieve stress in 2014. The user can filter the tips by the categories in the list box to the left to find out how she or he can get help when he or she is stressed. In this example, we have selected a category called Call a Hotline. The list box labeled Elaboration now shows the helpful tips related to the selected category for the user to know. As I have assumed that only those in the US will use my dashboard, I have only included US helplines. Moving on to the next question, which is on how to prevent teenagers from stressing out. This same page is used to answer both questions, as some stress help tips also prevent stress. This page includes some preventive tips that the user can find out. In this example, we will first clear all selections using the red button in the bottom left corner available in all pages to clear selection before selecting Take Care of Yourself. This category shows tips related to taking care of yourself, as can be seen in the elaboration box. I have come to the end of answering all 4 questions. However, my dashboards can also answer additional questions. Through the further analysis page that is able to be accessed through the consequences page, in the left corner with a button of the same name, the user will be able to find out answers to questions such as which race is the most stressed for which year, which suicide method is most prevalent, and which method does the periods most occur. In which period does the most suicides occur? This provides the user with the ability to perform further analysis on the consequences of stress so that he or she is more knowledgeable after. Using the year and month boxes on the left, the user can find answers to the questions above. For example, the user wants to know the most prevalent suicide cause in 2012 in the month of January. The graphs will be able to show him not only what he wants, as well as the most prevalent suicide per day and the distribution of suicides per race. Furthermore, in the reasons page, the user can decide to filter the results by year and by state to see which state has the highest reason for teenage stress in which year. The user can also perform comparison by clicking more than one state in the state list box to the left. By placing the mouse over any of the rectangles, the user can find exact values for the charts. This example shows Alaska and California in the state box, listed state of the reasons page. As you can see, mousing over any of the rectangles shows not only the state but the number of suicides. This example supports my finding that the higher the presence of child abuse in a state, for example California, the higher number of suicides in the state. You have reached the end of my video. Please give me an A. Thank you.